Can Liverpool win the Premier League? What chance do you give them?
Matt's moment is
Manchester United 0, Liverpool 3. And before we really get into it, I've got two questions to ask the viewers to answer down in the comments. First thing is, can Liverpool win the Premier League? What chance do you give them? And the second thing is, with Manchester United, will they be closer in terms of points to the bottom three than the title? Because last season, Ben, they were 31 points behind first place and only 34 above 18th. And it was a low tide at the bottom. So I'm not even just trying to be mean here. I do wonder, could Manchester United actually be closer to the bottom three in terms of points than top of the table? This was just a one-sided game. It just kind of shows where these clubs are at the moment. Look, we said before this game, didn't we, Ben, that on their day and when they choose to be, Manchester United can stand up to Liverpool. We saw that last season with, I think it was 2 draws in the league, and they beat them in the FA Cup. But this was so one-sided, and the golfing class was phenomenal. I mean, fair play to Liverpool. Let's be fair. Liverpool good, Manchester United not so good. It is a bit of both here. Let's talk about Liverpool first then. Really good start now because it's 3 wins from 3, no goals conceded. And, you know, I think a lot of us, even Liverpool fans, would be thinking, is it going to be big boots to fill for Slot? Because you look at when Ferguson's left United and Wenger's left Arsenal, these big staples have left. It's difficult to replace them straight away, but Slot has come in. It's been a great start. And I'm like you, I don't necessarily believe in a new manager bounce. I think this is just quality that we are seeing so far. And to be honest, the reason I think they could be in a title race, I know it's early on, but they've still got a lot of that spine from the team that did win the title those years ago. You know, they didn't have a lot of players coming in this window, but they've kept most of the players in Alisson, Van Dijk, McAllister, Trent, Robertson, and then it's Diaz who gets 2 goals, Salah who gets the other one. And they just look so good. It's still early, but they haven't conceded. They're scoring goals, and this just looked like a walk in the park for them.
And Salah looks like he can put one of those crazy seasons where it's maybe... This sounds stupid if we were talking about other players, but like 25 goals and 18 assists or something, and that can drive you towards the title. And they look a little bit kind of, I'm not going to say they weren't slick because they were amazing under Klopp, but it was very crash bang wallop. They look a little bit smoother now, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is the word I'd use. They're more smooth. And like you said, you know, with the fact that they've not lost a lot of those players, I just think that continuity, the players know each other. I wonder if that's just going to be something that gives them that edge at the start of the season compared to other teams that have still got players to be knitted in, or can they ride it out throughout the season? Yeah, they look really good. Like I said, at the same time, I do want to give Manchester United an honourable mention for being really bad. It was just so poor. And it's now 3 points from 3 games. I mean, the win against Fulham on the opening week, I think they did merit that. They left it late and they got it. The defeat to Brighton, Manchester United fans will say it was cruel because of how late the goal came in the game. But this was just so one-sided, and it was in the middle. I mean, I personally think, not trying to pick on Liverpool here, but my one worry would be maybe their midfield is not as strong as Arsenal and Manchester City's, but they just were so much better than Manchester United. The United players didn't want the ball. Liverpool's pressing was fantastic. Their passing, as you say, just so smooth and so comfortable.
Do you think we're going to see the same pattern with Man United, where they have the odd really good win, often in a cup final as well, strangely? They kind of do well against the, you know, like bottom 6, bottom 8, middling, you know, end up in that area where they can still kind of challenge for the Champions League. That's not going to be enough for Ten Hag, is it? Not in season number 3.
You're absolutely right. That's the next thing. It's 3 seasons now, and you expect to see some progress. It was the cup that's really kept him in a job. I don't mean to bring Coventry into this, but if Hadji Wright's toe is not offside, Coventry win that game 4-3. Well, it's a good point. But maybe, yeah, that is what it is. I mean, credit to Manchester United for beating City in the final. They were brilliant and they beat a top-class team there. But You're right. It's those little moments, winning those cups that have kept him in. But the league performances, like I say, 8th last season. And honestly, I'm not trying to be dramatic. I do think they could be closer in terms of points to the bottom ends than the top ends this season. They might still finish top half in terms of positioning, like 7th, 8th, or 9th. But you're absolutely right, and you feel the pressure is definitely on Ten Hag here. But at the same time, I do want to say that this problem at Manchester United is deep-rooted. I don't think it's a simple case of Ten Hag goes, someone comes in and they're brilliant. They might have a bounce. We saw that when Ollie came in. They had a really good little run. But how many managers have we seen now since Ferguson, and have any even looked close to taking them back to those glory days? Not in terms of a title race. So, yeah, really deep-rooted problems at Manchester United. Honestly, I wouldn't be confident in any game for Manchester United just because there is that lack of consistency. At the same time, they can turn up for a big game, but they didn't on this occasion. And the credit has to go to Liverpool. I'd love to see them in the title race because we all thought it would probably be Arsenal and Man City again, and Liverpool might be building this season. But so far, so good for them.
Amen. And we'll clip that one out for Matt's channel. So get in the comments and answer those 2 questions from the start of the video. I was going to move on to Arsenal because obviously Liverpool are now clear of Arsenal, because it feels silly to say so early in the season that Arsenal have opened the door up to City now. They actually drew a game, but I just wanted to ask you about that red card for Declan Rice. But it would be sensible. It wasn't a red card; it was a second yellow card, wasn't it? Possibly go on and win the game without that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you've mentioned it was a second yellow. It wasn't a straight red, because people on social media like to whip themselves up into a lava, making out it was a straight red for this. It wasn't a straight red. It was a second yellow. And 2 parts to this. Yes, I think that should be a yellow, because there's nothing more frustrating than delaying a restart. It's obviously to gain an advantage, so you should be punished for that. I think where I would say to the Arsenal fans, I can understand the frustration, is maybe there's just that lack of consistency. If everyone that did that got a yellow, then you'd be like, well, that's the rules. But it's not always implemented, and it might be sometimes which referee is more lenient than the other. But you're right, he doesn't kick it very far, but he does still kick it, and it was a Brighton free kick. And then I suppose the theatricals don't help him rolling around, because he's also delaying the game there. So I do think it is a second yellow and therefore a red. But at the same time, if we could see that consistent through the Premier League, that would be better, and then there'd be no problems to kick off about. But on the whole for Arsenal, because of that, obviously they then conceded. Let's give credit to Brighton. Brilliant start to the season. And they're level with them. They're both on 7 points after 3 games. But going back to Liverpool and Man City, they picked up maximum points. So it is 2 points dropped already for Arsenal.